Hi, today is June 2nd, 2024, and in case you didn't know, my name is Lisa. Weight loss is hard, and I totally get it. We have work, illnesses, life circumstances, just a bunch of things are always getting in the way of living a healthy lifestyle. And what I've discovered after losing more than 70 pounds is that it's not even really losing the weight that's the difficult part, at least for me. It's everything else surrounding losing the weight that makes it difficult. It's the stress, the time, and the commitment towards losing that weight. I think if the average person had all the time in the world, it would be a lot easier. Obviously, I don't think this would apply to everyone, but it certainly would apply to me and a lot of people that I know. I think it's because of these factors why so many people are turning to Ozempic as a weight loss strategy. They kind of feel like they've tried every other course and nothing just seems to work for them, and so they're going to go the medical route. The problem with this, though, is that there's really no long-term solution for getting off Ozempic once you've lost the weight. For a lot of people, it's kind of like a lifelong commitment to taking these drugs, and I don't think we talk about that enough. I know with Ozempic in particular, if the doctor is prescribing it appropriately, they recommend building your muscle mass as you're taking it. And this is because muscle mass helps regulate your metabolism, it helps you burn calories, it helps you develop a more active and healthy lifestyle. But I have met several people who are on these semaglutides, and their doctors have not talked to them about that. They don't know what the strategy is for when they get off of the semaglutides. So far, I've lost nearly 75 pounds. It might be even more than that at this point. I haven't really kept track. I have just been dieting, exercising as best I could. And I've lost these 75 pounds over the last 2 years. However, if you were to speak to your average healthcare professional or even a fitness influencer, they would tell you, well, you could have lost over 100 pounds in just 1 year instead of 75 pounds in 2 years. Yes, I've actually been told this by a doctor, the implication being that I wasn't losing weight the right way. However, for me, I think losing 70 plus pounds, whether it took 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, or 4 years, hopefully not 6 months because that sounds very unhealthy, I see it as a win. A win is a win. I lost 70 pounds, the 70 pounds is staying off. Instead, I seem to get this, good job, Lisa, you should have worked harder. And I managed to lose all this weight while having a full-time job, trying to do YouTube, having to find time to work out even when I was injured. I've been horrifically ill, injured the last 3 years. You can see one of my last vlog about my lost 70 pounds announcement, but also having sustained a head injury. So yeah, I've had a lot to deal with, and I still managed to lose the weight, albeit very slowly. But now I find myself in a very unusual situation. I don't have a job anymore. That isn't to say I'm going to be unemployed long term. My job tends to go from August to the end of May, and I can have the option of having June and July off. I usually get a summer job to help support, finances. There's always bills to pay, food to buy. But this year, economy, not so good. And everybody wants a summer job. So I was kind of pushed out of the market by other competitors. I'm definitely going to have a job again in August. There's always a massive, massive need for people in my field at that time. But for right now, I'm kind of like, geez, what am I going to do for the next 2 months? And that's when I got the idea. Geez, if I had all the time in the world, I would just lose all the weight that I possibly could. And that's when I decided to make fitness my full-time job for the next 2 months. We always complain about life and circumstances getting in the way of health and fitness goals. But now I have all the time in the world. I don't have that situation anymore. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see, geez, now that I can actually dedicate all of my time towards losing weight, how much weight can I lose? How much muscle can I build? How much of my body composition can I change? And that brings up my next important point. What is my plan? Because I'm definitely not going in just without a plan. I decided that weight loss in particular was not my number one goal for these next 2 months. I was going to focus on reducing body fat percentage, building muscle mass, and improving my body composition. I started this all yesterday, and I'm really excited. I'm very sore, but I'm excited to have time to do all these things I want to do and time to rest and recover. It's great. And I understand not everybody can be in this situation, so I do really consider myself lucky that I can do this. So I am going to work really, really hard at building that muscle mass and reducing fat percentage. And as I mentioned, if you've watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I've been extremely sick and unlucky and injured and all these various things over the last year, actually 2 or 3 years. And it's just kind of compounded to the point where I didn't put out videos for 4 months. If you remember at the beginning of what I consider my work year, which is August, I started to feel extremely fatigued, and I could not get over that fatigue. I think I was even talking about extreme fatigue in the year before, not realizing that I had severe vitamin B12 deficiency. And it was so bad, I was like tripping and stumbling and falling over. I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't remember anything. I was forgetting deadlines. I was just really struggling. Like I would get 10 hours of sleep and I would wake up and I was so tired. I remember even telling this story about going to the grocery store just for like an hour and coming home and being so sore. It took me 3 days to recover. This is because the vitamin B12 deficiency really depleted a lot of my muscle mass. And if you know anything about how muscle mass affects your ability to lose weight, muscle mass helps you burn more calories, it helps improve your metabolism, and it helps regulate your hormones. So having muscle is very important. I was very lucky that I had so much muscle to begin with that I actually had muscle to lose. But I kind of want that muscle back now. So since I'll be focusing on building muscle over these next 2 months versus actively trying to lose weight, I really don't want to focus on a number on the scale. And yes, part of this is about fat loss, so I do expect to lose weight. I just don't want to get on the scale each morning knowing that I'm trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time and get discouraged by a smaller than anticipated number showing up. Because like I'm trying to lose weight, but also gain weight at the same time. And yes, the net losing weight should be more than the gaining of the muscle. But like I said, I just don't want to get discouraged and have like that psychological impact of not losing as much as I feel like I should be losing. So how will I be tracking my progress? I decided to take measurements instead using a tape measurer and measuring in centimeters. I'm going to measure my waist, my hips, my thighs, and my arms. My upper arms in particular. I feel like this is a much better way of tracking this fitness goal because it's going to allow me to see the actual shape of my body changing. I really want to reduce the amount of fat on my thighs and hips. I know people say, oh, you can't target fat loss. And yeah, but you can target muscle building. And I feel like in the areas that are a little bit flabby, you can make them look more tight and taut with the amount of muscle that you put into it. So as you're losing weight, there's actually something there to firm it up underneath the fat. And I do actually have a body composition scale, so I will be tracking my weight, just not as frequently as I will be tracking my measurements. And I'll be using that to kind of help see that I'm losing fat and building muscle, but not trying to focus on the actual pounds or kilograms. I tend to measure in kilograms because it kind of allows my brain to not focus on pounds and how many pounds lost because it added that conversion in my head. Although I lived in Japan for 6 years, so I'm actually really good at understanding what kilograms are. It's just, yeah. So it's really hard to get around it, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. I'm also going to be filming and keeping track of these body composition changes. I'm going to measure myself on camera. I already measured myself yesterday because I had to start yesterday, but I wasn't able to film yesterday. And I will reveal those measurements when I'm done after these 2 months, and hopefully we'll see those numbers go down. I'm going to be taking measurements every single week, and I'm going to be measuring it over 8 weeks. My plan is to keep maintaining that calorie deficit, but obviously not having it be so severe where I can't build muscle, but certainly low enough that I'm burning fat. I plan to work out 2 hours a day. I've already started this. And my plan for the first month, the first 4 weeks, as I start to build up my muscle mass more, is to do 90 minutes of like a cardio activity and 30 minutes of strength building / weightlifting. And for cardio, it's going to be at least 60 minutes of walking and 30 minutes of another kind of cardio activity. So either like aerobics or even something like really intense gardening. I'm really into gardening in the spring and the summer. And I really do like work up a sweat, like lifting bags of soil and all that kind of stuff. So it really does get your heart rate going. And every time I go, my Fitbit is going crazy, like heart rate 150. It's crazy. And like I said, I started yesterday. I went to the gym. I did 30 minutes of walking on the treadmill. And then I did 30 minutes of strength training. And then after that, I came home and I walked outside for an hour. And my legs are really, really sore. I have to use the arm to help get me up out of the chair. And then for today, I did 60 minutes of walking outside, and I was too sore to go to the gym and do more weightlifting, just especially because my thighs and my bottom were just really sore. So I decided to focus more on arms today. I did 20 minutes of dumbbells, 10 minutes of abdominal strength training, and I think I said it was like 30 minutes of aerobics. I did this aerobic thing, and it's really cheesy, but it really makes you start sweating by the end of it. As I become stronger, so at the start of July, I'm going to start switching that up a little bit. I want to do just 60 minutes of cardio and then 60 minutes of strength training. But I really need this month to build up my endurance and my tolerance to lifting weights before I start going for longer periods of time. I will be preparing all of my meals, with the exception of maybe like the 4th of July, where I usually go to a block party. And then I anticipate maybe going to lunch with some friends maybe one time each of these months. So only those circumstances I won't be preparing my own food. And here's the thing is I cook for myself like 98% of the time. I rarely go out to eat unless I'm invited by family members or friends. And I really love cooking. So I've already been doing that in general. It's just now that I'm not working, I don't have to focus on, making quick meals or things that are going to fit into my schedule. I can really take my time and really focus in on preparing super healthy meals for specific, exercises that I'm doing. If I'm doing a lot of weightlifting this day, I can make sure I'm having extra protein, just really targeting what I eat for what I'm doing. So it's just going to be really nice to hyper focus on what I'm going to be eating specifically for building muscle. As I said, I will be filming a lot of this, so I look forward to updating you at the end of July or beginning of August once those 8 weeks are up. One more thing, I do hope to keep this going until the official end of summer, which I believe is September 21st. That's the last day of summer. And that would mark exactly 16 weeks starting from yesterday. And I know it will be difficult to keep that up for those final 2 months if I am doing 4 full months. So I'm hoping to use these 2 months to really build up as much muscle as I can and to just really get a head start so that I can kind of coast those 2 first months of work. And so even if I can't do 2 full hours of exercise a day in August and September, maybe I can do 1 hour and I'll be used to doing 1 hour because it's going to feel like half as hard as doing the 2 hours I'm doing now. And I can also use this time to really explore the healthiest and most beneficial meals that I can use for working out so that it's going to be very easy for me to prep those in the future. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully I can make this a 4-month endeavor instead of just a 2-month one. And wish me luck and comment down below. Let me know if you have any intense fitness plans for the summer. What are your goals? Do you have any advice for me? And I will take any advice you have except for keto. I'm definitely keeping my carbs. But yeah, you have a great evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.